On this short video, I'm going to be showing you how to claim your accounts and files that you would have after searching the database and finding accounts that are worth $250 or more. You want to get paid, so you're going to need to claim your accounts. This process that we have set up is a claim form that you'll complete, and I'll go through that in a moment. What this basically does, it allows us to not get duplicate applications for the same account files. So by completing the form below, which I'll walk through, like I said, you are going to be guaranteed the 10% finder's fees or tracer's fees that are due to you for doing the hard work that you've done in the previous step, going through the databases and finding those accounts. So you're basically going to complete this form, and that you plan to carefully pay attention to what I'm about to say, that you plan to process once approved from us in the next 72 hours. So from not the time that you submit the form, but the actual time that you receive the email back from us, either approving or disapproving the accounts that you're going to list on this form below. Okay. So once we've reviewed the accounts after your submission, if they're approved by our office, you will receive an email back from us directly giving you the go-ahead, and that your claim that you've staked on these accounts will be guaranteedly paid to you. Like I said, and you should be aware of if you haven't gone through the orientation video yet, you get 10% guaranteed payout in US dollars on the unclaimed balances or assets that you have completed and submitted that are approved from this form that you do here below. Okay, so basically for the rest of this video, I'm going to walk you through the process to make sure that there is no errors on your forms that you complete and send in to us. So on the very first part at the top here, this is where you're going to put the your claim date. So that would be the date that you're completing this form and sending it in. It has nothing to do with the account files dates or anything to do with the databases where you found the information from. And you would just put in the month, the day, and the year. In the next section, you're just putting in your full name. Now, each time that you're making a submission, you're allowed to do up to 10 accounts. You need to complete this form to make sure that to ensure that you're going to be paid. If forms are submitted without this form being completed and approved first, they will not, and you receiving that confirmation email that they're approved, you will not be paid for the submissions that you make. So make sure that you do this every time. Once you don't have to do it for each individual account, because you can fill this form out minimally doing 4 all the way up to 10. Okay. So sorry, that was a side note to make sure that was clear. So the next section below your name, obviously, is your mailing address. You're going to need to make sure that you're putting in your current mailing address every single time. Okay, so your street name. If you have an apartment number or anything, don't forget to include that in the street address second line. You're including your city, your state or province if you're participating, or anywhere in the world, because this opportunity obviously is not just restricted to Canada and the United States. We have processors from around the world doing this as well. You'd put in your postal or zip code, and of course pick your country. Do not forget to include your email address, because that's where where you will get the email confirmation from. It will go directly to the email address that you put into here. Okay, and all of these fields will be required. The next section is a question. It's a yes or no answer section. Are you planning to submit processing forms for the accounts or files that you are listing below within the next 72 hours if approved? So if you are not serious, do not complete this form. If you are serious about completing and making the money that you are due, for the 10% that you are due off of these accounts in the next 3 days after approval, and the approval process can take anywhere from 1 to 3 business days. Okay, so if you are not sure if you can get at it or not, if they're approved, then do not submit this form because then you will get a strike against you. And if that continues to happen, we will never accept, because we do have so many processors that are serious, we won't accept them. So make sure that you're serious about doing this. Make sure that you check off yes or no. If you say no, obviously we're going to reject your form. The next section, I'm going to read this out clearly so make sure it's clear to everyone. You may claim a minimum of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a maximum of 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 accounts per request form. Okay, so once they're approved, like I mentioned before, you may request additional accounts off of this page from completing this form again. All files that you are listing below for the processing approval process must have unclaimed balances or unclaimed assets minimum of $250. Remember, you are paid 10% of the account. So the minimum amount that you're going to complete on these forms, if you, for example, if you just do the minimum and do 4 accounts that you plan to file, you will get paid $100 if they were minimum of $250 each. Okay. Another thing, another question that might come across your mind is the fact that if you fill out these 10, do all 10 have to be completed if all 10 are approved? No, they do not. But your intention when you complete the form that they will. So when you receive a approval or a disapprove notification from us by email into your email inbox, those accounts are yours for 72 hours. So if you file them and they do not get claimed, they are open range again, and the claim is taken off. And other processors can process and claim those forms. So make sure that you're serious about doing this when you submit these forms. It's not difficult, obviously, to do 10 at a time. So I strongly encourage you to do 10 at a time, because that will guarantee you in 3 days it's easy to complete in database the information that you've already gathered from the accounts onto the submission forms. You're only putting in between 6 and 12 fields onto the processor form. Okay, and it can be very lucrative for you to do it, so I encourage you to get at it and watch your email box for the approval after you complete the form. At the bottom, the last thing that you need to do before submitting is typing in your signature. Okay, the last thing that you need to be doing is typing in your signature, and how you do that is just typing it on the keypad. We will verify that it matches up to your full name at the top. Okay, now the reason that we do that is to make sure that you can follow instructions. Okay, and plus it won't allow you to submit the form anyway, and it's a digital signature that you're agreeing to completing, or we are agreeing to paying you a guaranteed 10% on the accounts that you submit within the next 72 hours. If you fail to do that, those would go back into the files, and other processors are able to process those accounts. So for instance, the reason this is a new step that we've added, because we've had accounts where, well, it doesn't matter the amounts that I'm going to talk about, because even if it's a $250 account, we've had multiple people file the same processing form at various different times, apart. So someone that's serious did it right away, another person that did it 3 weeks later, another person that did it a month later. We were stuck in a position to be able to have to either reject all of them or pay out only one of them, and we used to do it just by the first person submitting it. We've changed that process now, that once you've staked your claim on this by completing this form, it is yours for 72 hours, so make sure that you get them in during that time. Okay, this form is not hard to complete. This work is easy, and if you are serious, you'll just follow along and complete the form as suggested here on this video. Hopefully this video has been clear and concise. I tried to speak as direct and clear as I possibly could with in my voice to make this very clear, so that there would be no open answers that you still haven't got on how to claim your accounts before moving on to to the next step, which would be completing the forms after approval. Now, I suggest that you make a claim right now. If you've already done this previous step before this, you've already found accounts that you're interested in processing, depending anywhere from $250, and the ones we've received, the highest ones we've received, are over $100,000, and you're getting 10% of that. It's very lucrative. I suggest and recommend as well, just before I end this video, that you do not spend your time waiting to get accounts that are huge or massive, because sometimes other people are claiming accounts that are $400, $1,200, $255, and things like that. And if you go back later to claim those will most likely be rejected because you waited to find big $10,000 ones or $20,000. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are doing this seriously, we have a lot of processors like Sandy and others, and Brandon. We have Frank, as you can see on the leaderboards. Those people are taking this serious. They earn significant amounts of money, and there's no reason that you could earn significant or part-time or a flexible income doing this job from home. So hopefully this video has been helpful, clear, and concise, and you are ready to stake your claim and start processing for us once approved. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in future training video tutorial videos. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.